is an Unspoiled Network podcast.
This is Unscrupled, covering Angel, Season 4, Episodes 3 and 4. The House Always Wins, and Slouching Towards Bethlehem. In these episodes, our alternate Scooby Gang, slowly but surely, crawls back towards each other because this show is afraid of change. Welcome to Unscrupled. How's it going, bitches?
It goes. How you doing, Money?
I am existing in a state of being.
We're both upright on a Tuesday, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. So, what do you think of these episodes?
I actually have always liked these
Okay.
because stuff happens and it's not super gross. And there's not even actually like a super big monster of the week. Like in the first episode, the monster is a human.
Yeah.
Who's just a dick.
Well, the monster is the system that allows something like this to exist.
That too. And in the second one, there's a monster for a second, but it gets taken care of pretty quick. There's not like a big bad.
Yeah.
Which really, it was a nice change for me.
Okay.
Nice little break.
I felt the first one is really a Buffy episode.
Yeah.
It has all the structure of a Buffy episode, and I felt like I should be watching, like, someone sends a text to Buffy, like, hey, can you make a trip out to Vegas? And
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was a lot less dark than Angel usually is, and it had a lot more humor.
The subject matter was Angel, in that, like, it's there's this infrastructure of people who can steal your fate and sell it on the black market. And I'm like, yeah, that's a very Angel thing. But it's also, this is a Buffy rescue caper.
Yeah. Just the very fact that they painted Fred green from head to foot, and then...
Why couldn't that have been Anya?
I'm sure it could have been.
Yeah.
The thing that got me, though, is that as they're running away, suddenly Fred's not green anymore.
Yeah. She took a shower in between takes. So.
Yeah.
So, it turns out that not only is Lorne not gone, but Lorne has been sending a distress signal that none of the people were smart enough to pick up.
Now, did you pick it up? Did you catch the whole Fluffy thing and be like, the fuck?
No,
Okay.
I didn't, because I thought that Lorne was gone. But also, I am not close to Lorne. Lorne is a fictional creature on a show that I watch every other week. So I do not spend a lot of time with Lorne. I do not know his mannerisms. And if he talks about Fluffy, like, I could think, is my chest hair showing? Like, what's going on?
Well, Fred assumed it was about masturbation. So,
Okay.
Which leads me to wonder about her grooming habits, and then I'm in a place I don't want to be. I don't want to think about that.
She was feral for 5 years, so I give Fred a little credit there.
Yeah, she's...
But despite being feral for 5 years, she's still not interesting.
That's fair. Although the little bit about her counting cards was kind of fun for me.
Yeah. So, they make a road trip to Las Vegas, which is clearly a green screen. Like, it's been a while since I've seen a green screen that was that blatant, and they're driving Angel's car, and there's only 3 of them, and that seems like it should be very normal. But I know that they're here to collect Lorne and add their Tara to, I guess, Cordy's Willow. I lost the metaphor here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The two groups are different.
I know they're different, but like Lorne is someone who does not get first billing. He is clearly not a full-fledged member of the alternate Scooby Gang, which means he could probably die, even though like you could cut him apart and nothing would happen.
Oh, in this episode, they give us a Scooby-ish name for this group. Lila says it to Wesley. She calls them the Good and Plenties.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
That's
so
really
are they.
stupid.
So it fits.
Yeah. So they're driving down the strip, and can we just say how much we hate the strip?
Oh my God, the strip is the worst.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's all these lights, and it smells bad, and there's drunk people, and there's
everywhere.
like, do you want a hooker? I can throw a hooker at you right now for free. That's a free sample. And I'm like, no, you can get the pussy out of my face. I don't want it.
Yeah. Everyone is trying to hand you these cards with these women on it that you can like buy, and I'm not here for it because if I'm gonna rent someone's time for sexual purposes, they want to like not feel like they're being abused, and that's not possible in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's really it's gross, guys. Like, we went to seedy old downtown Vegas and had a better time, and like,
yeah, like old Vegas, like the like off strip stuff that isn't aimed toward tourists and fleecing them is way better.
Remember that hotel, or was it a hotel or casino where we went to go to the bathroom and they had like the old school slot machines, and I was just like,
yeah,
this place, there was no one else in the room, but I was like, this place has so much more character than anything I saw on the strip.
It still took quarters, you guys.
Yeah.
Quarters. You didn't have to have like a little card that you slide through. Oh my God. I don't understand why. Okay, gambling, I get it. Gambling is like a thing people like. But like, I understood slot machines before when you actually got treasure out of them.
Yeah.
You got shiny things, and that happened. Now you win and they put credits on your card that's only for this casino. That's such a bummer.
Is that what they do?
I think like that last time I was there, that's totally what was happening. Like you got all your chips on a card that you swiped in the slot machine, and it would detract from your balance.
Right.
It's like, I don't go to Vegas to live my normal life. I go to Vegas to, fuck around.
Yeah.
And I want the shiny silver things. I want the heavy bucket of quarters.
Mm-hmm. Or silver dollars.
Or silver dollars, yeah. I don't even like gamble. I don't even play slots. So I guess my opinion is invalid. But like, I just feel like there's a tactileness that was lost.
Yeah, apparently slot machines are still like the biggest core money maker in Vegas. That and video poker is up and coming, but
well, yeah, because you don't have to interact with people, and why would anyone want that?
I don't know. It's just like I feel like a lot of the lure of gambling is that you could be good at it, and that's something that slot machines are very much don't do.
No, the lure of it is not that you could be good at it. The lure of it is that the gods will give you free money because you deserve it and they like you.
That's stupid. There's a lot of stupid in this episode.
Yes. Vegas is inherently stupid.
Vegas is the worst.
It can be fun for like an evening, but pretty much once you hit the end of day 2, you want to be the fuck out of Vegas.
Yeah, like I could see going for dinner and maybe seeing a show. That would be fun. Maybe stand in front of the Bellagio for a bit and put dish soap in it.
Oh my God, I'm drunk with that.
But yeah, I just like, it's hot and it's so dry. It's so hot. We were there in July. It's so hot that they have these machines all over that just spray this hot mist at you constantly.
So not only are you hot, but you're also vaguely damp.
Yeah.
When you shouldn't be vaguely damp because it's a desert.
Yeah. It's like, don't at me if you love Vegas, because I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think anyone actually loves Vegas. I think they want Vegas for like a minute.
Okay.
We can do that for a minute.
We did it for too long.
We did. We went to Vegas for 4 days one time.
See, I only had 2 days, and I was done by the first evening.
Yeah. It was... No, that one trip, where I got divorced afterwards.
Yeah, you were there for 4 days.
I was
working for 2 days. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the time you were working, I was like bumming around and reading books and hanging out with that one friend from college.
Yeah.
And we did not do Vegas things.
Yeah.
We went to a bar and talked about Connecticut.
Right. Yeah, so that's fine. And so, but yeah, I was working, so I was like, oh, I'm in a hotel. I've been in hotels before.
Yeah. And hotels are fine. I mean, they're not home.
I had to walk through a casino to get there.
Yeah.
Which allowed me to vape on the way to my meetings, but...
That's about it.
Yeah. So, they're back in Vegas, and they're here because Angel... I'm very confused as to what Angel really wants out of Lauren. Is it that he wants to find... He doesn't want to find Connor. He knows where Connor is.
Yeah.
I have no idea why he was there.
So they talk about it a bit, but it's really easy to miss because Fred says it, and it's so fucking boring when she says anything. But maybe she'll get better. Anyway, the thing they're looking for with Lorne is, one, an excuse to go to Vegas, because visiting friends is the best excuse. And two, she wants Angel to sing for him so he'll read Angel and Angel will know what his purpose is again. Because with Cordy gone and Connor gone, Angel's kind of listless.
Okay.
He hasn't got a lot in his soul. Fred and Gunn have each other to combat loneliness, but Angel really doesn't have anyone. He hasn't ever been real close to Fred, except for we're dudes who bash things together way, the surface friendship kind of thing. And he's always kept his distance from Fred because she might, fall back in love with him, and that's awkward for him. And so he's kind of super lonely, or at least that's Fred's interpretation of his general demeanor.
Sure.
So they go so that Angel can find his purpose again. Right.
And we see Lorne's show where he has a bunch of women in green, and he sings, and he's like, why is Lorne not gay or queer or something?
I think he's ace, actually.
Sure, do that.
Because they never talk about him having sexy feelings ever.
No, they don't. It's, I don't know, I'm putting myself back in 2002 brain about what it was like to have queer characters on the show, but I feel like a queer demon is something you could be pretty explicit about and wouldn't get, like, the angry moms on what used to be Facebook.
I think they would get angry gays because saying that...
They were not afraid of angry gays until 2012.
Fair.
Because we've been fucking angry about everything. Like,
That's true.
Pride Month is almost over. It is the last week in June here. Next month is Gay Wrath. So you fucking cishets better buckle the fuck up. Because it's going to be a purge. We're kind of fucking pissed.
Oh, man. I didn't get the memo. Can you, send me the backlog?
It's not, we don't communicate over unsecure channels.
No, I mean, when we get home, you could tell me with your face.
Yeah, so... we're getting your swords sharpened this weekend.
They're already sharpened.
Awesome. Cool.
You know how I roll.
Of course a lesbian is going to have good sword maintenance.
Hello. We're well-oiled, shine to perfection. They're really nice. Anyway, so, okay, so maybe they weren't afraid of gay wrath and equating gay people with demons, but I think that maybe the writers just wanted to have one character who was not somebody's love interest, and Lorne's way too complex.
But then he sings Creole Lemony Marmalade in the most cishet dude way ever.
In the most Vegas lounge singer way ever.
Yeah, I don't understand what kind of vibe I'm supposed to get off of Lorne. Anyway.
Vegas lounge singer? That's what you're supposed to get.
He doesn't exude sex like most lounge singers do, though.
That's true, and I think that's more evidence that he's ace.
Okay.
And we didn't have a word for ace back then.
Accepted. We didn't?
Not one that I knew, and I was pretty gay and trying to be woke, but the internet was in its infancy. And
I learned the word in biology where, this is just a word that we have that means this thing.
Yeah, but did we ascribe it to people?
I think we did.
I mean, I knew about the word asexual. I knew about that, but I thought...
You didn't know that was a thing that someone could be?
Yeah, I didn't know that was a people thing. I thought that was a xylopod thing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know when I picked up that it's a thing, but yeah, we could use some more Ace representation. So, headcanon approved.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's singing his song, and he's getting people to sing along, and he's sort of picking up on their fates when they open their mouths. And it's weird. So he finishes his show, he kind of makes eye contact briefly, and they try to meet him as he's leaving the show, and swarmed by bodyguards.
Yeah.
And he blows them off.
And he does it really effectively. I was pretty proud of him. Like, that was some solid I'm too important for you-ness.
Yeah. So he goes back into his dressing room, and Angel is a little butthurt about it because nobody cares about him.
And we as the viewers are supposed to be butthurt too, but it becomes clear pretty quickly that...
I was a little mad on Fred and Gunn's behalf.
Yeah, they deserve a hot shout-out.
Yeah.
They have always been good to Lauren.
And I wasn't kind of here for Angel's constant bragging of all his Vegas adventures.
Oh, yeah. That
it reminds me of baby boomers. Like, they all went to Woodstock. 70 million of them all went to Woodstock and marched with Dr. King.
Yeah, and they all saw the Beatles, and they all blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Fuck your moon landing, bitches.
They all burned their draft cards, or they all fought in Vietnam, and none of these things are true.
Well, I know who in my family went to Vietnam, and it was just Dad.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that the ones who actually went don't brag about it on Facebook.
No, Dad doesn't talk about any of that. He didn't actually get to Vietnam. He was in the Navy and on ships, and a ship got hit by a tidal wave on the way. But he still doesn't talk about that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't be a baby boomer.
Yeah.
Like you haven't. We're one baby boomer.
Don't be over 60.
I would unsubscribe if I knew how to, but my grandson gave me this new iPhone. So.
Oh, that's accurate. So, yeah, guys, the lesson here is don't be over 60. And if you happen to be over 60, don't be that guy who said they were at Woodstock when they weren't.
Yeah, shut up.
And don't brag about, like,
you all had lead poisoning.
Shit.
All of you.
Yes.
There was lead in the gasoline.
There was lead in everything. There's lead in the paint.
Yeah, there's lead in the paint. There's lead in the gas. Like, any of you fuckers who mowed the lawn are psychopaths now.
Yeah. Oh, hey, the thing that gets me, the lead that was in the paint, that paint was on cribs. You know what kids with cribs do? They eat them. Mm-hmm. They just put their mouth all over and gum that shit.
She's really, like pantomiming this.
Like teething hamsters.
Yeah. So, she's now biting her arm. There's a chunk missing.
It's my cage.
The carpet is ruined.
My beautiful lead-lined cage.
Yeah. But look, if you are a baby boomer, like, shut the fuck up. Like, even if you did go to Woodstock, I don't care.
Yeah, that was important to your generation.
Because I went to Coachella, and I drove for Uber. So my pain is more than yours.
Yeah. Well, okay, so the people of Angel's generation talking about the shit they did keep acting like it's bigger than the shit we did. Like somehow Vietnam was bigger than 9/11. And it was a different thing. And that's what they can't, like, wrap their heads around. That our 9/11 was just as big as their Woodstock and their Vietnam. But it's emotionally different.
Because
Still
the
important.
world went fucking crazy.
Yes.
Like fucking bonkers.
Yes. And for me, who was in the military during 9/11, I've got a lot of shit to
because we
say
just looked
about
around and like, what the fuck is happening? This makes no goddamn sense. Anyway, my point is, don't brag about things that you did or didn't do, like, because who cares? Also, the Beatles are canceled just because I'm tired of them.
I've never liked the Beatles, and
thank God.
If anyone wants to stop listening because I don't like the Beatles, go ahead. I like Beatles covers though.
That's fine. It's just like every 5 years or so, we get some cultural event that will be how great are the Beatles. Like I think it was last year, they put out a movie where suddenly this guy wakes up in the morning and he's the only person who remembers the Beatles. And I'm like, That
score.
sounds awesome.
That
There's only
sounds like
one person I have to ignore.
It's a perfect world.
And then they had that like stupid Beatles movie Across the Universe where like people were doing drugs and singing Hey Jude, and I'm like, move on.
Wasn't once enough?
Yeah.
You didn't get
the only good
enlightenment.
Beatle is dead. Like we're left with the racist and the wife beater. So
Wait, we still have 2?
yeah, McCartney and Ringo. Did he?
I don't know.
I don't care.
I don't care either. I
They're
don't
both
care
canceled.
enough to not look it up.
Like the only good Beatle is dead. So
George?
yeah, and he's just aggressively inoffensive. I'm going to find out that he was terrible too.
Well, yeah. I mean, pretty much the only pure thing we have left is Keanu Reeves, and I think that might be marketing.
Fair enough. Where were we? Yeah, Angel's bragging about the things he did in Vegas, and I think in universe he's completely full of shit. Like he's the guy who served. Let's see, he's the guy who served Pink a latte once.
Yeah.
And somehow that's morphed into they had a conversation, and he quit his job that day because
Because of something Pink said to him.
Yeah. I don't fucking buy it, Angel. You're talking yourself up in your toxic masculine way.
Well, no one can call him on it. So, yeah. And actually, I think they show everybody kind of rolling their eyes when he's talking about being at Elvis's reception.
Yeah.
They're just like, really, dude? Oh my God. I figured it out. They're dad stories. They're serious dad stories. Well, kids, remember back in the day when I was blah, 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 head of my football team, and we took it all the way to the national championships. No, you didn't, Dad. No,
There's
you didn't.
no national championships of high school football. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, just stop it. Big
Yeah.
dork.
So he blows them off, and we find out that he is in a very disturbing situation.
A quite gilded cage, if you will.
Yep, where he's locked in and he's forced to cough up what are the fates of everyone that's saying. They all seem to be good this time.
Yeah.
It's like I want him to have the hot pie fate. This person will never leave their hometown other than vacations and will be perfectly happy with it.
Yeah.
And be totally satisfied with their what others would consider a mediocre life. Do you want to sell that? That fate?
Yeah, the anti-Moana.
I still haven't seen Moana.
Oh, you're missing out. It's real good.
I know.
And the music's awesome.
I actually bought a ticket for Moana. I was with a friend. This was February 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And we went in. We realized it was a sing-along. So we left.
Good call.
Yeah, and watched a horror movie
I
instead.
wanna sing along with the people in my house, not with a bunch of strangers. Thank you.
No.
But we can totally
What's
watch it.
worse was it was noon on a Wednesday.
What?
So the only people there were kids that were too fucking young for school.
No.
Yes.
No. Oh God. No.
There is no good time to see a kids movie in the theater because you know why? Because there's fucking kids.
Yeah, and I like Toy Story 4 just came out, and I thought about like, is that important enough to see that? No, I'm gonna watch it at home on Netflix or Amazon or something, and just like have my personal moments without sitting next to a 6-year-old
Yeah. That
covered in
is.
snot.
Yeah.
They're all
And talking to their mom.
Mom, who's that? Shh. This is from a 30-year-old franchise.
I had to sit behind 2 little 4-year-old girls who watched Frozen 6 times on a flight from Oakland to fucking Oslo.
I'm just gonna hug you right now. Here you go, bro. Here you go.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh, also there was this little girl. I think she had to be like 11. This was a different flight. And she was trying to decide whether she's going to watch Princess and the Frog or Frozen. And I said, well, you know, Elsa's a princess and kind of gets everything she wants, whereas Tiana is, you know, she's working real hard and she's trying to she's got a dream. And I kind of like Tiana more. She's like, yeah, Princess of the Frog.
I feel that too. Tiana's a much better character.
Right. Had a much better villain too.
Oh, yeah. I just love Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, let's watch that one sometime.
Let's just, okay, if we do a Disney day, I'm picking, like, Moana and Princess and the Frog, and there's other one, but I don't know.
Treasure Planet.
I've only seen it once, but I have it on DVD.
It's such an underrated movie. Like, I don't understand why people didn't like this movie.
Okay, we will watch it and you will explain it to me. But we have gotten way far from Angel and Vegas.
Yeah, we have.
This has been a rabbit hole, guys. Thanks for joining us. We went down far.
This is like, what do you expect? We're unscrupuled. Like,
we are unscrupuled.
We talk about our penises and stuff.
Yeah, mine's rainbow.
Yes. Yeah, so apparently they're stealing the fates, and the bad guy is this kind of jackass who has some very loyal minions on his part.
Yeah, they just have a magic artifact. He's just a high-end casino dude.
Right, and they steal their fates by giving them these chips.
Right.
That they can spend, and those chips steal their fates, and then they get put in a trance where they go and play slots until they die.
I mean, we've seen those people. Like, we have. We've seen those people in Vegas, and now...
the ones that pee in the seats because they don't want someone else to take their luck.
Their lucky machine that hasn't paid out. But, you know, it's got all those quarters in it that they just put in, so any second now it's going to pay.
I think I think they're under the impression that if you keep doing it long enough, it will.
Yeah, that's not how they work, guys. I mean, yes, eventually a machine will pay out, but it's probably not going to be yours.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and I bet there are machines that just don't pay out.
Yeah. I mean, if Ocean's 12 is anything to believe, or Ocean's 13 is anything to be believed, there's a way to make it pay out.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. It's like, apparently there was this really complicated, you had to press this button, this button, this button, insert a quarter, wait 3 seconds, press this button, press this button. It's like, yeah. It's used for testing, can this thing pay out?
Up, left, wait, up, down, left, right, BA, start, select?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're stealing fates, and they're turning them into mindless zombies. Angel tries to find out.
And gets taken off the casino floor.
Right.
By 2 thugs. And the thing that bothers me is that these 2 guys come and whisk him away. Normally, when someone grabs Angel, he throws them across a room.
Mm-hmm.
So are these guys just hyperdense?
I think it was crowded. Maybe he was worried about collateral damage.
Maybe he's caught by surprise.
Maybe they didn't have the budget for an action scene in a casino.
Maybe. Okay, that's fair.
So.
I love that Fred was counting cards.
Yeah.
That's just, that is exactly what someone who does experimental physics and magic should be doing, counting cards.
I can count cards, but only in hearts.
Well, see, the thing with Vegas is when you play blackjack, they're doing it out of a 5-deck shoe.
Right.
Or sometimes it's an 8-deck shoe. That's a lot of freaking cards.
And they don't reuse them; they just throw them out. So
yeah.
It's not helpful for doing it for blackjack or for poker. But I played hearts on my computer so much that I got very good at I would look at my hand. And I would know, okay, these are the cards I need to watch for, and then just mark them as they went by. And then eventually I would know, halfway through the trick, I would be like, okay, I can win all of these or I can toss them all. I would know exactly where I would land. So,
wow.
And what I need to play to make it happen.
I want to play hearts with you just to learn.
Sure.
Okay.
So we'll find a computer with Windows XP.
No, dude, I have cards.
I know.
Like a real person. We'd have to find 2 friends. Do we even have them?
You can do it with 3.
Okay.
But we have a house full of 4 people.
That's true. Oh my gosh. Gwen is anyway.
Gwen's an accountant. This might be a problem.
Gwen has ADD.
Yeah.
Doesn't medicate at home.
Okay. Yeah. So. Who passed the note? Was that Angel?
Wait, which note?
The note that is supposed to go to Lauren.
Oh, I forget everything involved with this note. What note?
I think Angel said, he comes up to one of the green girls. He says, "Here's a note. I need you to give it to Lauren."
Oh, that's probably Angel. That's probably how he got picked up.
So He fights the dudes, then he goes in to see what's happening in this special VIP room, and then he ends up getting drugged and starts playing.
Mind wiped. Well, destiny wiped.
And he's out of most of the rest of the episode, and I'm kind of okay with it. So
yeah, because I mean, he's just hit stuff guy, so why bother with him when this is a brain thing?
Fred and Gunn paint Fred green and send her to bring Lorne a drink. And
she plays it beautifully.
Yeah.
She really does. I mean, Fred actually kind of shines in this episode for all of her usual boringness.
Mm-hmm.
She plays the ditzy, oh yeah, I'm just like being served up to this demon for sexual gratification. And I'm cool with that. That's my job.
Right. So the bodyguards let her by. Lorne spills the beans that shit's fucked up.
Oh yeah.
And they beat up the guards and they fucking blow town, and Fred magically becomes not green.
Yeah, Fred must have jumped in the Bellagio fountain or something.
Right.
So all of a sudden she is clean.
She's changed her clothes too.
Did she?
Yeah.
Wow, she is good at this, you guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, then they're running from people and trying to be nondescript.
But then there's the confrontation between Gunn and Lorne, where he's like, well, you could have stopped. He's like, I tried. He murdered someone.
In front of me. Which
begs the question, why are you not afraid of what's going to happen if you run?
Because he's not there to intimidate. It only matters that he ran if he gets caught. Mm-hmm. Which he does. But you got to take a chance because he doesn't want to ruin people's lives anymore.
Right.
And I swear to God, you guys, Lorne's the good one. Let's just save him and fuck the rest of the show.
Yeah. Lorne and Cordy.
Everyone else just disappoints us in the end.
Mm-hmm. So they go back to the casino, and that's when the confrontation, and they're trying to, eventually they piss off Angel through his haze of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot Cordy is screaming at him the whole time from the void.
Yeah. That part's pretty easily forgettable. Yeah, this episode kind of introduces Cordy as really impatient and watching Angel TV all the time and being very bored and wanting saving from this peril that she's not actually in.
Right. I feel like being bored is torture.
It is.
Solitary confinement is torture. If you have nothing to do and nothing to occupy your mind, you're going to go insane.
Absolutely. But at the same time, she's like, how come you're only perceptive about things that actually matter, that you have not been reassured over and over again are fine by the powers that fucking be?
I still hate them.
Well, yes, they suck, because obviously they're lying to him about how okay Cordy is if she's losing her shit up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's being kind of judgy. It's like, okay, they're trying to save their friend who is also your friend, and you're bitching about it.
Right. So she accidentally makes Angel win.
Yeah, which, that helps.
That draws him into the room, and then the fight happens, and his face comes out. I forget how this fight goes down.
I forget, too, and I literally watched it an hour ago.
I know.
It doesn't actually matter. Point being, the thing gets smashed, everybody gets their destiny back, and
Lorne goes back to L.A. with them.
Yeah, because, if the destiny... Why did they just let Lorne go back? Can't they get a new destiny thing? Why was that the end?
The guy was dead.
Oh, okay. So long as that guy in particular is dead.
Yeah, it's we talked about this with one of our colleagues who left a few weeks ago. It's the project is dead because there's no one to champion it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and then they go back to the hotel, and what do they find?
They find Cordy,
who has been mind wiped.
I hate mind wiping amnesia bullshit.
Okay.
I gave this episode the benefit of the doubt that if there's anyone who can make this interesting, it would be Cordy. And it almost worked.
Okay, so what do you, other than hating it, why do you think she's mind wiped?
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm that mad about it in that we just had her trying to affect things from her ethereal tomb. And suddenly, in the time it takes for them to drive from Vegas to LA, she's gone through this mind-wiping process and been given a body, and I'm like, this is a giant shift. I needed more time in between these two things to make this believable.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the point is. I don't know why. Don't get me wrong, Charisma Carpenter does an excellent job, and there's like the writing isn't bad, but the plot point is.
Right.
So it's just stupid.
Anytime amnesia happens on a show, it shouldn't.
Right.
Like, that's always lazy writing. Always, always, always.
And I don't understand the point either. So what are you trying to do? Anyway, so Cordy's back. She doesn't know who anyone is, and she doesn't know where home is, and she's just...
Well, that's a good thing, because they rented out her apartment.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah, do not go back. Phantom Dennis would be thrilled, but the current occupants, probably not so much.
Right, so they try to explain some things to her, but they keep some things back because they're afraid of how she will react.
Well, there's a lot.
I want you to take this forward, because I'm kind of, I'm really mad about this fucking plot point.
Okay, so, yeah, this brings us to our next episode, which picks up on the tail of this one. And, yeah, Cordy shows up, and they're all like, dude, you're back. And she's like, who the fuck are you assholes? Which, that's fair. Mm-hmm. And honestly, a lot of this episode is them going, you're this person, and her going, I'm a what now?
Yeah.
Who is this? Who are you? And that's like a lot of the dialogue. Oh, I did stuff. I don't remember. That's a bummer. Whine, whine, whine. Wait, shit's fucked up here. And repeat. Shit's fucked up here. Oh, I was this person. Whine, whine, whine. Shit's fucked up. And it just cycles through like that 5 or 6 times. And every time that she gets to shit's fucked up, something new pops out. Sometimes it's Lorne just being green and demony and making her sing. And sometimes it's face opener guy. And sometimes it's, being attacked from Wolf and Heart thugs. But we just keep repeating this cycle through this episode. Which, from Cordy's point of view, has to be kind of traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
Just being confused and everything being fucked up and things that should not be just being there. It kind of feels like all of her knowledge of anything supernatural has been wiped. But her reflexes are still there because all of her training that she did with Angel on how to fight seems to be kicking in automatically.
Even though it didn't kick in when she had her...
memories of supernatural shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Cordy has gone through more growth than any other character. She has, and not in, I know everyone's like, well, she's a selfish person. Yeah, she's a selfish person, but she's gone through relationships. She's gone through disappointments. She's lost everything. She's understood her role. She's figured out what she's good at and what she's not. She's learned to connect with people.
She's a distinctly different flavor of selfish now than she was at the beginning of Buffy.
She's the only one in in either show who has any emotional intelligence whatsoever.
I'd argue sometimes for Willow, but only sometimes.
Only sometimes. Cordy is always on it.
But she wasn't always like that.
She just always didn't care.
Oh, yeah, she's like, I can see what you're feeling and I don't give a shit.
Right.
That's fair, yeah. Okay, so yeah, all of this leads to a hodgepodge of crap, which culminates in, 1, Lorne reads her and decides that she is a harbinger of an apocalypse.
Yes.
And 2...
Because there's not enough of those.
Yeah, we haven't had any apocalypse for a hot minute, so let's wrap one up. And 2, she runs away with Connor because the hotel's full of crazy people.
Yeah.
And she's not wrong.
Don't fault her for that.
At least Connor's clean.
It is very predictable, though.
And human seeming.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cordy's going to have some trust issues. So, yeah, they go back to Connor's hideout. So let's talk about what is clearly your favorite part.
Oh, Wesley and Lila?
Wesley and Lila.
Yeah.
So wax about these two.
So Wesley and Lila have been seeing each other for a while now. It seems like 4 months. And Lila maneuvers Wesley into calling their thing a relationship. And that's a big deal. And apparently they had a bet of $1 for who would call it that thing first. And Wesley just lost, meaning they've talked about their relationship or lack thereof before. It's an actual legit relationship and not just hate banging each other.
Yeah.
And they kind of like each other. And that's kind of fun for me because Lila's still evil and Wesley's now super grayscale. And even it's kind of a delight to see evil people in love because you see that they do have all those things. Like the sweet things inside. They're just
so you think
evil.
Lila's in love with Wesley?
I think Lila is really enjoying their thing. So I don't know if love is the word for it.
She does betray his trust.
She does, but only because he betrays her trust first.
That's fair, because it's in her nature. Like, even if he hadn't, I kind of feel like she would anyway, because that's kind of the angle that I want to explore. Like, yes, she could love you. She could love you a lot and still betray you because that is who she is. Frog and scorpion, bitch.
Oh, here's the worst thing, though. He never would have been betrayed if he hadn't been telling stories out of school. He knew he wasn't supposed to know that shit. He knew he wasn't supposed to hand it off to the good and plenties, but he did. And sorry, it was bad information. Had he not done... Okay, so the whole thing about you can't con an honest man, she played that fiddle all the way to the end. If he had not broken her trust, then he would not have gotten
See, I don't
away.
think her trust is broken. Like, she's very clear about what these two people are.
That's fair. And you're right. It wasn't broken trust. She laid a trap.
Yeah.
And he walked right the fuck into it with both feet.
And she's not even mad about it. She's just like,
She's just like, yeah, I figured you'd probably do that. That's why I said that. I'm protecting myself, jackass. And he's like, I'm so betrayed. It's like, well, then you probably shouldn't be telling stories out of school. Asshole.
She doesn't even say asshole. She's like, yeah.
I say asshole.
Yeah, you say asshole, but she's like, I knew what I signed up for. I'm like, this is not outside the parameters of what I thought this relationship would be. So I'm not even mad about it. It's like, yes, this is what we do. Let's not pretend otherwise.
Yeah, you don't get to show up at her door all indignant. Like, how dare you say things to other people that would lead me to betray you? I mean, motherfucker.
Yeah,
You don't get to be indignant, Wesley. You don't get to be hurt.
You do not.
You have to play the game you signed up for. This is that game. Get with the program.
Yeah. You don't get to, like, I'm losing on a metaphor. Like, yeah.
There's one there, but I don't have it.
You don't get to go halfway through Drag Race and then complain about the lip syncs, you know?
Yeah.
I was looking for something that wasn't sports that most of our queer listeners would have a passing familiarity with.
Yeah, because I don't know about sports. Anyway, so yeah, that was fantastic. Probably the best part of the episode.
I figured that's why you liked it so much.
Yeah. There's a lot of Lila fucking around with people's heads, and that just tickles me. She is an awesome villain.
I really, really, really want to read Gavin's journals at this time. Just like living in fear of this woman that he's sexually harassed and been a complete asshole to, who now has control over his job and his life and could have him killed at any moment.
I really want to know what bullshit crap she's doing to him, because she would either do everything to him or do nothing at all and have him like sitting on pins and needles waiting for her to do something and just like suspecting everything. He's like checking his mail.
She'll give him just enough rope to hang himself.
Yeah, that's how she will play it. But I really want to. You're right. I want to read his journal. I want to watch him emotionally implode, waiting for her to fuck him.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So Cordy goes to Connor's room, and it turns out that the thugs are there waiting for them, or not waiting for them, but are there soon after.
Yeah, they just kind of waited for them to get there so that they could attack.
And we get the Cordy badass moment that I've been waiting for since we saw her training.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you see why I'm frustrated? It's like we had a complete Cordy who knew, like, had a purpose and had figured shit out and, like, had decided to take the selfless route. And she's been training to be a badass. You needed to give me all of that together.
Mm-hmm. But no, they take the piece off the board and give her back to us broken.
Yeah, and only then do we get to see badass Cordy.
Yep. But that's okay because the good and plenty show up to save her and then get back to the hotel and realize that, nope, they got played too. Lila just played fucking everybody. She, like, wins all the points.
I mean, yeah, like, I think... It's thinking about it, like, Lila, they don't know what they're dealing with. No. Right? They don't know what Cordy's role is in here. And at this point, intel is more important than taking her. So they need to find out what is going on. And there's exactly one person who knows that, and that is Lauren.
Yep. And poor Lauren has had a rough couple of episodes, man. They kicked the shit out of him. They sucked it out of his living brain.
Yeah, and like,
Angel's such a dick. He's like, how much did they get? Oh, and Lauren's like trying to talk about like anything, and how much is like everything. Like, duh, you stupid asshole. They got everything.
I would really love for in our next episode of Buffy for him to show up at Anya's door and say, "Hey, can I bunk with you? Both Las Vegas and LA is terrible. I'm decided to live on a hellmouth.
It can't possibly be worse."
Yeah.
And Anya's like, "Oh, really? Wait, can you fix carpets?"
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the episode. We talked about that one fast.
Well,
what did we miss?
See, that's the thing. We didn't miss anything because that thing I said about that cycle happening over and over again, that was the bulk of the episode.
Yeah, and that's,
really
I think that was another frustration for me. So that's why I didn't like this episode.
Yeah, it was the Let's Freak Out Cordy episode. Let's fuck with my wife Cordy. And that's not fun for us. We like Cordy, and we don't like her without her brain.
We like the Cordy who ran over the vampires. Like, I don't know how many times I have to fucking say this.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I can't say anything.
Okay.
So we'll just move on and watch some more episodes in a couple of weeks and see what happens.
That sounds like a good plan. So I'm very hungry because I haven't eaten lunch.
Yeah, me too. I skipped it.
All right.
Let's go home.
Yeah, let's go home. You don't want to stop for pie?
Can I have a savory pie?
Do they have that at Black Bear?
I don't know. I don't live there, but I need to go home so I can pick up my meds on the way home.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I didn't hate these episodes. Like, I actually liked the Vegas one. It wasn't bad, but it did have a very distinctly Buffy feel.
Honestly, I just love complaining about stuff.
That's why we have a podcast.
Yeah, so we can bitch about stuff. And could we have done this better? No.
We need to shout into the void. And if the void hears us and subscribes and becomes a patron on patreon.com/unspoiled.
Then the void gets an opinion.
Yes.
So if you want to just complain about us, go ahead. That's
write
what
us a review with 5 stars. We'll read it.
You can, even if you want to say mean things about us, give us 5 stars and we'll read it. And
you
can
say whatever you want as long as you don't say bitches.
Yes. Don't cuss in it because
worst.
Apple.
Like, I'm hoping a lot of you have written reviews and like have forgotten our warnings to put an asterisk in the I, because iTunes is like, Apple is the worst. You saw Natasha's complaint today.
Yeah, I did. I got like a quarter of the way through before I'm like, this is stressful to just think about.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to let this go. Yeah, Apple can suck about things. Like we have an explicit podcast and you can't type my name because apparently naughty words are forbidden.
It's not even that. It's that you won't tell people why you killed their review.
Yeah, that's fair.
They type this review and they think it goes through and they don't it's up to them to check and see if it actually went through.
Yeah, they don't get any kind of notification, oh, this review is flagged for profanity. Please, draft a new one without those naughty words. They don't tell you anything.
Twitter is the worst, but at least it tells you what rule you violated. Yeah. It tells you that you violated a rule,
Yeah. It's just like...
All right.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. Bye.
That was an Unspoiled Network podcast.